What's going on YouTube? It's JB Tech Fanatic and I'm back again with another video. And first off, I always like to start by saying thank you so much for each of you that have tuned in to watch my videos. I am so humbled that you have decided to watch my videos, and for those of you that have subscribed, I cannot be more grateful that you have done so, and I hope the rest of you will give me an opportunity by hitting that subscribe button and giving me a thumbs up on this video. Now, this video is all about the Nintendo Switch. And I know what you're thinking. There's been probably thousands of these videos done. It's been out for almost a year. Why would you do a video on the Nintendo Switch? And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I actually have purchased this console several times. I got it at launch, I ended up giving it away, then I got it again and I ended up selling it to my neighbor because their kid really wanted it and he couldn't get it at the time. But now we're further out and all the games are starting to really come out and it's actually worth buying. Now, as you can see, I'm surrounded by the big players, right? And not that Nintendo's not a big player, but why would you even want a Switch when you got the Xbox X, you got the Xbox S, you got the PlayStation 4, you got the PlayStation 4 Pro? These things are amazing consoles. They have great games and the graphics are spectacular. So why the Switch? Well, we had the Wii U, which I really liked, but it didn't do very well, honestly, in sales. You kind of had this big tablet here, and then you had the console itself. The console itself wasn't big, but there just really wasn't too much graphic power to it. It didn't have the highest resolution out there, but it was fun. But as a company, it was a failure for Nintendo. So if you watch the stock market, you kind of wondered, will Nintendo survive? Now, Nintendo has been around since, of course, I was a kid. I have always been a Nintendo fan. But the Nintendo Switch was released. Now, when the Nintendo Switch was released, they really didn't have many games. I am a huge Zelda fan, which is why I decided to purchase it at launch. But for most of us out there, if you could even get the console, there was really not too many games. It was really a console that was designed for Zelda or, you know, the Mario Kart that you technically could already play on the Wii U. But now, I just looked at the list today, and I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and the games just kept on coming. But finally, I decided it's time to get back into the Nintendo. There's so many games that I want to play, and the one that finally got me to go back out and grab me another one is Mario Odyssey. I always thought, wow, how can you launch a Nintendo without a Mario title? They didn't do so. Now you can get the Switch pretty much at every store. You don't have to worry about them being out of stock or paying, more than you're supposed to pay. You could get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox it. We'll check out what is in the box, what it looks like. We'll talk about it a little bit, and we'll help, hopefully, you decide. Maybe you're a father out there and you don't know what console to get. I mean, there's too many to choose from. How do you make that choice? So after we show you what's in the box, we'll kind of talk about that together. Now, the box, the package, and everything is actually not very big at all. So it is very compact, and that is because the console itself, I mean, it's tiny. It's kind of unbelievable what they were able to do in such a small form factor, and especially when you think about what the Wii U did. Now, this virtually is the entire console right in front of you. It's an LCD screen. It is not full 1080p. However, when you plug it in to the dock, which I'll show you in a second, it will output full 1080p. So you get the console here. This is the Joy-Cons. These are the colorful Joy-Cons. They have, the black ones, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of special editions. But these basically are the remotes to control the system. Now, if you're not familiar with the Switch, these can be used connected to the console as a handheld portable console, or they can be just slipped off and used individually or together as controllers. What else you get in the box? They give you an HDMI cable. Now guys, I will say this, I recommend upgrading this HDMI cable. Not that it's the worst one in the world, but there is better HDMI cables, and even though you're only putting it out 1080p, I would upgrade it, but that's just me. You get the power cord, and this is another thing that I really liked what they did. They went to USB Type-C. Now, in the past, Nintendo basically had a real funky plug that was kind of hard to find, and if you didn't really buy the Nintendo plug, nothing else was working. So technically, you could charge this up with your cell phone charger. However, they do include a power adapter. This is designed to turn these into the console controller experience. Now, they do sell a Pro controller that's already all put together for you, and honestly it looks a lot like the Xbox 360, maybe the Xbox One controller. However, you could slide these ones down, they lock in, these little lights, they pop up, and then you can hold it just like a controller. That does come in the box. Now the price point on this, guys, is $300. That seems like a fair price point. However, the accessories for this console are actually very expensive, especially when you compare them to other consoles as far as what you get. But it is what it is. They also give you these. These are more of a safety where you can put it around your wrist in case you're playing, you know, like a sports game that your kid or yourself, you don't throw it at your brand new $4,000 or $3,000 TV or your $500 or $600 TV, whatever, you don't want it broken. It also has buttons on there, so when you flip these sideways, you can use it as a controller. So they virtually give you everything that you need to play. Now, this is the dock. The dock is what transforms this console into a console. Now, this really doesn't do anything except for give you an HDMI out to your TV, excuse me. And it gives you that cool lock sound that they, you know, advertise on the commercial. And it really works very fast and fluid. So basically you take this, it slides in, it locks, boom, turns it onto your TV, you pull it out, you got a handheld console that you could take on the go with you anywhere you want. You can even play multiplayer games. They have all the newest integration of Wi-Fi, and you can put USB for expanded storage. Now, just to show you guys here, you can also put a USB thumb drive in here. Here's the HDMI out, and this is where you plug in your power and so forth. So you also get an extra 2 USB on the side there, and that's it. So basically, this, you could purchase multiple. So if you have several TVs in your house and you don't want to buy more than, you know, one console, you could buy a couple of these, and it's really that simple, guys. You leave it plugged in with an HDMI, and then if you want to play downstairs, if you have a 2-story house, slide it in, boom, you got it in your TV, you want to go upstairs, you pop it out and you put it upstairs and you're ready to go. And that's really it, guys. That is all that's in the console box. You do get 2 of these for both of your Joy-Cons. Now, let's talk about this a little bit. Why? Why Nintendo? Why would you want a Nintendo when you can get an Xbox X and run native 4K? And to answer that is pretty simple, actually. It's because it's Nintendo. What does that mean? Nintendo, like Disney or Coca-Cola, they have a brand that they have characters that everyone wants to play. Super Mario, you know, Donkey Kong, Zelda. These are titles that you can't get anywhere else, except they did, you know, release a Super Mario app that you could play on your Android phones, and I'm not sure on the iPhone might be also. But other than that, that's why you buy Nintendo. Nintendo has and always will be family friendly. They do, as long as they keep selling consoles, they do pick up some of the big titles. Now, I know the Wii U kind of really fell short and virtually they all disappeared. But, you know, things like NBA 2K18, you can get on this and every other console. But it's all about what you can't get on the other consoles. Super Mario Brothers. Family friendly is not something that the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox is really strong at. Now, having said that, they have started to release some titles. You know, my son, he loves Knack. They have Knack 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 4. You know, they got some games on the Xbox. I'm not real sure what the name is, but the Fox, the new one out. He likes that a lot. But, you know, up until now, they're really, you know, there's so many shooters and games with bad language and so on and so forth. Just things that I wouldn't want my 8-year-old to play. And then you take back to, I just love Nintendo. I remember growing up as a kid playing Nintendo on summer vacation, nonstop, Legend of Zelda. You know, these are games that have always stuck in my mind. The original Super Mario Brothers, Mario 2, Mario 3. This makes me continue to love Nintendo, continue to love the Nintendo brand. So, the question today, why should you buy the Nintendo? Because it's fun. And Nintendo, they do not really try to compete with Xbox or PlayStation. They always think of something different. If you think about just the Wii, horrible graphics, wasn't even high definition, yet that thing was flying off the shelves. I mean, they couldn't keep it in. The price point was right, and it was for everybody. It wasn't just the hardcore gamer. So, they went to the Wii U. They came out with this touchpad, and I really think this was cool. I mean, they just didn't put technology into it. And guys, again, I mean, when you're looking at this, this was just the touchpad. You got to think, plus a console. This is the touchpad and the console, and it's just way, way better. I mean, it's just amazing when you really look at the technology that they were able to do. But the difference is that there's a huge handheld market. So Nintendo found a way to keep those handheld people that love the handheld market and the console and make it all into one. And that's where I think that they're winning this race. Now, you could finally get this. That was another problem. They just didn't have enough of them. So you wanted this, but you couldn't get it. And then the people that could kind of ran out of games to play. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you were to listen to my recommendation, of course, I'm the kind of person that says buy them all, right? Buy the Xbox, buy the PlayStation 4, and buy this. That way you don't have to worry about it. If you could do that, if you can afford that, that's fine. But if you can't, let's just say you want one console. Think about what you want it for. Do you have kids that you want to play, you know, games with bad language in it, or shooters, or, you know, games like Grand Theft Auto? I love Grand Theft Auto. I have nothing against it, but this is the questions you need to ask yourself when you decide as a parent what you're going to buy. If you're a hardcore gamer and you only are going to get one console, PS4 or Xbox X, right? Decide on which one you want based off of the titles that you want to play. Now, of course, the big titles that are, you know, multi-console, you can play on either of them. But do you want native 4K? Well, then you need the Xbox X, you know. Do you want to play God of War? Well, PS4 Pro. Can't wait for God of War, right? So they make it difficult to decide. But when it comes to Nintendo, think of it in a category of its own is what I'm saying. So what we'll go ahead and do is I'll show you some setup options.
All right, guys, so we're back in. So let's do some quick setup. I just want to run through this. So the power button is here. The game goes in right here in this slot. This does have a kickstand here that just pops out. So you can, you know, set it up on a table. And then if you look here, I messed up earlier by saying USB. I meant micro SD card goes right here. So it does have expandable storage. So you just throw that in, and then the speakers are here. And there is the USB Type-C charging port right there. So let's go ahead and power this on. And by the way, there is the volume up and down, and it does have a headphone jack, so that's pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and hold this down. Meanwhile, this is how you put the controllers in if you want to hear that switch. Not like the commercial there. And it kind of tells you what to do, but we'll go ahead and get those on. And now it's booting up, and you know, the screen is nice and vivid, even though it's, you know, basically 720p. And then setup options, go English. Go ahead and accept those terms. Now, you're going to have to connect this to Wi-Fi. Once you do that, it's obviously going to probably want a update. Now, this does have 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to connect to that. Let me just get my password in here. All right, so I'm connected to the network. I went ahead and put my password in. Now you're going to pick your area. And then see right here is where you can choose to connect to the TV and do this all through there. But let's just go ahead and do this so we can do this on camera. Now it's saying to detach the Joy-Cons. It's telling you how. There's little buttons on the back here. You want to push those in and slide up to get them off. And when you do that, that's how you put it into table mode. So if you want to play this, you know, and set it up like a little stand there and play each other, maybe in your car or wherever you can. So that's pretty cool. Now, the rest of it, guys, is just going to be a bunch of setup. And, you know, if you already have a Nintendo account from before, you can go ahead and do that. But I'm going to go ahead and skip through this, and then we'll come right back in. All right, so I just want to show you guys this. Once you sign into your account, don't forget 2018, they are starting to charge for their online services. This is the pricing. 1 month 4, 3 is 8, and 12 is 20. So obviously not nowhere near an Xbox Live, but I doubt it's as good as Xbox Live either. So you could go ahead and it says try for free. So we will do that. Now, again, if you do not have an account, you're going to have to make one to get to this point. Then you're going to add your users. And if you don't have any, you can also set up parental controls. If you don't need to do that, this basically tells you setup's complete and to hit the home button. So guys, again, let this thing update its software. Now we're going to get this thing hooked up to the TV. I'm going to show you guys how to set your Samsung QLED TV settings for this console, even though it is 1080p. We'll go ahead and we will work on Super Mario Odyssey. And again, I'll get this open and I'll show you where to put it in. But basically, it just goes in there and it's the size of more or less an SD card. But of course, it's a little different because it's Nintendo. So let's jump right into that and have some fun. All right, guys, so we're back in. Now we're with the Samsung Q7F Qled TV. And so I'm going to show you how to hook it up to the TV. And then I'm going to give you 3 different categories of picture settings. Now this will help you get the best experience out of your 1080p game. Now, so you know, I did go ahead and put Mario in. It really is, guys, just like a little SD card that you just put in the top, you clip it in, and you're ready to go. Remember that you have all your software updates, all of that complete, and then you're ready to game. Now, to go from handheld to game console, you do have to hook this up to your TV. I did show you in the beginning of the video. It's really simple, guys. This has a little door. It's going to have the HDMI port and the power port. You just plug it in. You want to go ahead and feed the wires down this little area here so it sits flush, and then you're ready to go. So you take this, you literally would just set it in, and now you're going to have to take these out to use them as controllers. Okay? Now, it tells you to push left and right, so we'll go ahead and we'll do that. And then we should be able to get the game. And if you notice here, it's kind of telling you and showing you that they're ready to go. Okay? So now we're in the game. This is Mario Odyssey.
It's real easy to use. These can be used, like I said, you can put them into the holder. You can use them side by side, or if you want to use, you know, 2-player, you're going to put the game on 2-player and then you would flip them sideways and you would use each of them. But for now, you actually can hold them in each hand and use them just like you would an Xbox remote or something that's all in one. So it's pretty cool. They do vibrate and they are very responsive. Okay, so we're in the game and we got it all set up here. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys all the settings. So we hooked it up. I put it in HDMI port 4. You want to make sure in this that you go to the settings of the console. And when you're in the settings, you could play with basically the TV settings here. I put it to full 1080p. As you can see, that's the highest resolution. Make sure that you put the RGB range to automatic. Adjust the size. When you adjust the size, you want to make sure that those blue lines are basically into the corners. Put the screen burn into on. This is also going to help, you know, with the actual handheld, so you don't get burn in on there. And here is something that could be actually kind of annoying or cool. Match TV power state. Meaning, if you put in your device and it's powered on, it will automatically turn it on. And if it's off, it'll automatically turn it off. Sometimes that's annoying when you want to switch sources and want something else. But this is where you would change it. And then TV sound, depending on what kind of sound that you have in the room, you could actually set up surround sound, stereo, or mono, or just put it on automatic. Right now, in this room, I got my Bose in another room. I'm testing on an LG soundbar. But typically, depending on what you have, you set it based off of that. Other than that, you're ready to go when it comes to the system. Now, as I said before, I'm going to show you settings for the TV. Now, in my other videos, I have game mode settings, I have the modes that I use, but there's one additional setting that I'm going to show you guys here, and that's the HDR+. Now, HDR+ is a synthetic HDR, to be clear. Now, if we want, you could put this on in this game, and I'm going to show you guys some settings for that. Now, so as you can see, it's on right now. A few things, guys. I want you to make sure that your Eco solution in all settings is turned to off. I also want you to go and make sure that your HDMI UHD color is all on and the black level is turned to low. Now, this could be used for all the system settings, okay? So this is what you want to do, and this is what you want to make sure to have. Now, once that's complete, we're going to go over here to picture settings. Now, in case the camera's not picking this up well, I'm going to lead you through it. 16:9, you want to make that on 16:9 and fit to screen again on all three settings set to on. Now, I'm saying all three settings because I'm going to show you guys three different modes. The first mode is HDR+ mode. Backlight set to 20. Brightness -2. Contrast 93. Sharpness, now again guys, I usually do not use sharpness. I believe in turning it to 0, but since this is a 1080p console, go ahead and use it at 15 with HDR+. Color set to 65. Tint dead middle 50/50. Digital clean view, make sure that is off. Then local dimming, high. Now guys, if you are having the TV where it's turning too low or too high of brightness when you're switching scenes and that's bothering you, that can be changed with local dimming. Just put that to low. But for this, I have it on high. Contrast enhancer high. HDR+ mode is turned on. This is where you turn it on. Cool. And then here's where the magic happens in the white balance. When HDR+ is on, you're going to have the 2-point and the 20-point setting option. First, go into the 2-point. You're going to do the R gain -5, G gain +9, B gain +9, R offset -9, G offset 9, and B offset 9. Okay, now jump into the 20 point. Again, only going to be available with HDR Plus. You have to switch to 100%. Then I want you to turn the red to 5, +5 that is, green to +10, and blue to +10. That is the first group of settings for HDR Plus. Let's jump to the next one. The next one, again, guys, is for game mode. I know a lot of you hardcore gamers absolutely need game mode. So let's go ahead and make sure that you shut the plus off. You will not be able to turn on game mode until the plus is off, okay? So HDR Plus off, and then we're gonna jump back over here, go down to General, External Device Manager. Again, HDMI black to low. Game mode is on. Now we're gonna jump back over to picture 16:9, the same, fit to screen on. And let's go through this real quick again. 20 backlight, brightness -2, contrast now at 100, sharpness now at 20, color at 65, tint 50/50, local dimming high, contrast enhancer high, and color tone cool. White balance, leave it alone. The gamma, BT1886 -1, and then color space set to native. For all you hardcore gamers, there you go. There's your calibrated game settings. Now, I'm going to show you the mode that I prefer. Now, you're going to have to go in and shut game mode off. Again, HDMI black to low. Let's go back to the picture settings. Set it to dynamic, 16:9, fit to screen set to on. Expert settings, 20 backlight, -2 brightness, 93 contrast, sharpness 10, color 65, tint 50, digital clean view off, auto motion off, local dimming high, contrast high, HDR Plus off, and cool as the setting. And then, of course, everything else will be grayed out, but it should be on native. Now, guys, you are ready to roll. You're ready, set up with your Qled and your Nintendo Switch. The only thing that you need to do left here is that for whatever reason, the TV does not auto search the Nintendo Switch. So to fix it, you go to the port and you put in game console and Switch, and then you're ready to go, guys. Now, guys, this is a console that I recommend buying. Again, it's $399. You know, for a 1080p picture, I think it's actually phenomenal. And I really like this console. Guys, that's it. I'm sorry the video is so long. I like to be detailed. If you have any questions about setup, about price, about anything about tech or the Switch or PlayStation 4 or any of the consoles we talked about or technology in general, I'm your guy. Reach out to me anytime. I'm here for you guys to help. I want to just say to you guys, I am so humbled and honored that you spent this time with me. Thank you so much, guys. If you like this video and you want to see more like that, please support my channel by subscribing, hitting that thumbs up. I would be honored to have you. Guys, life is short. Don't forget, love your family, love your neighbors, spend time with each other, do something good for someone each day, whether it be big or small. You can change someone's day just by helping them out. Guys, I'm JB Tech Fanatic, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Guys, as always, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.